Hey babe, I'm Brooke Jean, licensed therapist, coach, mama, and your straight talking guide to ditching the pressure and living a life unperfected. I've coached some of the top C-suite women in America, women leading $1 million companies while secretly falling apart. I've been her. I blend psychology, neuroscience, and energetics with lived experience to help high-achieving women actually heal so that they can access their limitless energy, creativity, and vitality. So if you're a perfection-obsessed woman who's checked every damn box, career, family, house, 401k, but still feels low-key dead inside, you're in the right place. Here, we rip off the good girl mask, call out the BS, and build a life that actually feels like yours. We're talking healing, we talk revealing, we talk rising, and we do it raw, real, and unfiltered. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod. I'm Brooke Jean, your host, and as always, I am just tickled freaking pink that y'all are here. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have rearranged my podcast studio for the 672nd time. I wanted to be in the comfy chair and I wanted to feel like I could be a bit more relaxed, but I still wanted it to be, bougie and branded and all the fun things. So here we are, a new setup for a new year. Happy New Year. First of all, I want to check in with you. How in the heck are we doing, mamas? Because if you're like me, the holiday break is a little too long, okay? If you know me, you know that I love my children. I love being their mom. That goes without saying at this juncture, okay? We don't have to say that anymore. But 2.5 weeks is just too much for me. So every holiday season, it is my husband's busiest time because he works retail. And my goose takes the 2.5 weeks off of school, and my work is really, really minimal. And I love small sprints of quality time. I am not the kind of mommy who does well with Groundhog's Day every day for 2 weeks. Like I start losing patience. I get tired. I don't want to come up with ideas, like it's just a lot. So, and then also I work a job that I'm obsessed with. So not being able to work, not being able to be in connection with my clients. I did work a little bit, but that stresses me out. So I'm the kind of mom that I like being able to work, and then my quality time with my kids is so much better because I feel like all of my tanks are full. Now, some of you love these breaks with your kids, and that's amazing. Some of you are like, it's hard even taking a day off. There is no right way to be. You can both love your children so fiercely and only be able to handle them in small doses. That's actually a thing. And I want to normalize a lot of those unsexy truths here on the podcast. So, welcome back. Happy New Year if you celebrate. I hope you and your people had a beautiful holiday if you celebrate. I hope your nervous system isn't so fried that you can't even tolerate the sound of somebody licking their lips or breathing. If so, we're going to recover, we're going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to make it through. Now, I definitely learned some things that I'm going to do different for next holiday season. And that's all part of the journey, right? That is all part of the journey. But again, here we name and normalize the hard things without judgment. There's so many places in the world where you're seeing images and videos and marketing of the quote unquote perfect mom who's patient and creative and can do all of the things. That's not what we're doing here. We are loving so hard, but we are naming and normalizing the things that we struggle with, because it reduces shame. And I just don't think we need to carry around all of this shame in trying to keep up. And that's really what created the unperfected brand. So, the podcast in February, it will be 3 years doing this show. And I just want to start with gratitude and thanking you as the listener for spending your precious time and energy listening to me babble about whatever I'm babbling about. We have 13,150 subscribers on this show as of today, and every single one of you matters to me. I feel connected to you in this form of content, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. And what's really cool is that this Sunday, I'm hosting an event live and in person called Unleashed. And I'm going to bring women together, and we're going to talk about energetics and frequency, and we're going to do dance alchemy, and we're going to somatically release what's holding us back. And we are going to plant our intentions in the field from a place of truth and authenticity and playfulness and all of the things that you get when you do a dance alchemy class. And I have to tell you this little story. So, for the last 9 years, I have celebrated the birthday of my business on December 16th. And it's always annoyed me because my mom's birthday is December 16th. And that is so important to me. And I don't know why we have this, but we do. I just don't want two important things landing on the same day. So, anyways, I was deciding that I wanted to do this Unleashed event. I'm really craving in person community, deep, real, raw movement, fun, laughter, sisterhood, like doing cool things in the world. And so I was like, I'm going to do this event. And then I decided, well, I don't want it to be too close to the new year because us moms are still like, we're tired. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but after Christmas, I was like, I don't even care about New Year's. I'm too tired for another event. So luckily, Chloe stepped up and she was like, can I plan and host the party? And when I talk about a New Year's Eve party, what I mean is me, her, and Tony in the living room. Okay. That's what I mean. Anyways, I knew that like right after the holiday, we're burnt, we're fried, we can't take any more. So I was like, I want it to be a little bit later in the month. And then I want it to be on like a Sunday afternoon. And then I saw that 111 was on a Sunday, and I love angel numbers. I see 111 and 1111 every single day. That is an angel number that I have seen for over a decade. And so I decided, okay, yay, moms are going to be recovering from the holiday buzz and they're going to be ready to do something for themselves. We're going to do it on 111. That's such a special day, blah, blah, blah. Then I got a wild hair up my ass and I was like, when is my actual business birthday? Like, why have I always said December 16th? Where did I get that number? And so I went down this whole like bunny trail. And what I ended up doing is I ended up finding the day that I purchased my LLC with the state of Colorado. And 10 years ago, that was actually Brooke Jean Counseling and Coaching. That was what I started with. And so I went through all my receipts and all of my like business documents, and I found the date that I filed my LLC. And guess what date it was? 111, my loves. And I got the chills and I was like, okay, this event is definitely going to happen on 111 because I already thought that was amazing. What is my hair doing? I already thought that was amazing. And then I realized that 111 was my birthday, my business birth date. And this year, I'm celebrating 10 years in business. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why. Like something like 85% of businesses don't make it past 5 years. But 10 years, like those of you that have followed along my story, I did the corporate leadership thing for 10 years and I grew really fast and furious in that career. And I loved it until I didn't. And it provided a ton of safety, security, and opportunity for me as a young single mom back then. But then, like, so much experience leading people, solving problems, managing processes, just all the things. And to leave that safe career to pursue counseling and coaching and podcasting was a really big risk and a really big leap of faith. But I knew that this is what I want to be doing. And so to now be sitting here 10 years later, and we are still counseling and we are still coaching and we're still doing live events and online events, and I'm still working with businesses, and the team has grown. Now I have Megan and we're thriving. And I just feel so grateful. And what we don't do enough as women is celebrate ourselves. We're really good at celebrating others, which is beautiful, but we don't take the time to celebrate. And so I'm taking the time here and now to celebrate with you and just to share my gratitude, my appreciation, the fulfillment that this business and this work has given me. It means something to me. It means everything to me. And then to be able to celebrate those 10 years this Sunday at an in-person event. I already have 21 people signed up. It's just, I'm having a moment, okay, ladies? I'm having a freaking moment. Brooke Jean Counseling and Coaching then got a rebrand to Brooke Jean Unperfected after I had Chloe. So I don't know if you guys know that story or not, but after I had Chloe, which was 14 years after I had my son Camden, I noticed a wild raise in expectations on being a quote unquote perfect mom. Like in the days that I was raising Camden, there was no internet, there was no Instagram. Okay, maybe there was internet, but like there wasn't the blogs and the Instagrams and just the influx of information about how to do everything. There was like, we just like our children kind of meshed into our lives. Like I remember taking Camden to college with me that last semester. I took Camden to college parties with me. I took Camden to concerts with me. He would still stay on his schedule with like eating and napping, but it was just different. You weren't stressed about taking them to the park and feeding them red dye and all this stuff. And so there was one night that I was nursing Chloe and I was really struggling with postpartum depression. And I zoomed out and I realized this rise in expectations on mothers that is just increasingly accrued over time. Like there's nothing coming off our plate. We're raising the children and we're working, but we're also, in a lot of cases, running businesses or in leadership roles, but we're still volunteering in the kids' classes and we're still wanting to cook home cooked organic meals. And now we're not just playing with our kids, but we're like mindful of the play, and we are literally like looking at Pinterest for bento box lunches and sensory play activities. And then we're posting it on social media like, look how amazing my life is. I'm so happy and grateful, but we're still supposed to look good. Like there's only more and 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 more that has come on mom's plate. And what I realized that night was it parallels the rise in our mental health struggles. So as we're doing more, we're becoming more unwell. Or all of a sudden we have all this autoimmune stuff. All of a sudden we're surpassing men with drinking. We have more PTSD, more anxiety, more panic disorder, more alcoholism. And that was where the Unperfected brand was born, because in the depths of hell, I made a conscious decision that I was going to unsubscribe from all of these ideals of perfectionism. And don't get it twisted. I still have high standards. I still want to be a great mom. I want to be a great wife. I want to be a great therapist. I want to be a great leader. I want to be a great everything. But I knew if I keep trying to keep up and do it all, I was just getting further and further away from myself, which was making me unwell, which was then taking away from the gifts that I have inherently as a mother, as a person. So it's cool to think back, of, the courage it took to leave Target and then deciding to go to grad school and the whole grad school experience, and then working in a small business for my friend Kristen and learning everything small business because all I'd ever known was corporate. And then launching my business 2 days after I graduated, and then growing that, and then taking a leap of leaving my part-time gig to going all in on my gig. And every person that's come into my world that I've gotten to work with, and all the ways that I've tried to get my work out into the world, the summits, the podcasting, the in-person networking. And it's just cool to look back and see, like, go for it, mama. Go for it. Is it going to be easy? No. Like, it's been 10 years. I've done a lot. We've done a lot. But damn, I'm grateful. I am so grateful. And I've gotten more clear on the work that I want to do in the world and who I'm here to serve and how I want to serve. And honestly, it doesn't fit the cookie cutter. This is what therapists do. This is what coaches do. This is what working moms do. But I'm carving my own path. And I am doing my best to create from authenticity. And that's what the Unperfected brand is all about. The messiest things about us get to be included. The struggles. I was just having a conversation with one of my clients today. And I said, the people that are performing and hiding their flaws, their humanness behind things like their achievements, their material possessions, they're really doing a disservice when it comes to community and connection. Because when I can show up as a therapist and drop F-bombs, when I can show up as a coach and talk about what I struggle with, when I show the real things in my life, my hope is that it gives one woman at a time permission to look at the things that she struggles with, face them, and know that she still deserves an extraordinary life. That she can still have what she wants with her mental health struggles, with her tendencies to self-doubt and self-sabotage, with her divorce that she's going through, with her trauma that she's healing from. If I can do it, you can do it. And so, my work, my podcast isn't for everyone, right? Like, don't let your kids listen because your girl is going to cuss. But I'm just trying to be the realest version of me I can be. And sometimes that doesn't fit in a box, but it's because I want to give every person permission to be who they are. Because when you have the right intentions and you make decisions from your heart, but sometimes it's messy because you're human, you are my kind of people. Your mess makes me feel less shame about mine. And so it's just cool to see how the work has evolved, right? And then adding Megan to the team, and she brings her expertise and her giftedness to the table. And she's a brain health expert, and she does EMDR, and then adding the podcast. It's just been so freaking cool. So let's cheers to 10 years of doing this beautiful work in the world. And also, let's celebrate 3 years of the podcast. So with that, I do want to say, I want to share a couple ground rules for this show, because I almost feel like we're kind of starting fresh in the new year. I'm getting back into my cadence. I'm getting back on the horse. I'm going to be recording 1 episode a week. I'm actually going to start to train my son Camden on how to produce my podcast for me. But we're getting back into the swing of things. So here's a couple loving reminders. Number 1, yes, I cuss. So turn me down if the kids are around, if that is something that bothers you. Number 2, this is not therapy. Me talking about mental health, me teaching you mental health skills, all of that, it doesn't replace having an actual therapist. Therapy is actually a process, my loves. And so this is not therapy. Will I share things with you? Yes. Will I give you tools? Yes. Will I share stories that you can pull lessons from? Yes. But I want to remind you, this does not replace psychotherapy. That is a process. And if you want more support, reach out and we'll get you a therapist, or reach out the crisis line, right? Um what else? I am going to try to keep the episodes a little bit shorter this year, and I would love your input on what topics you would love to hear me talk about. So, DM me on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected and share with me what you want to hear me talk about. Do you want guests on the show? If there's any guests that you have recommendations that you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to hear Brooke Jean talk to so and so, share that with me. Do you like the shorter episodes, the longer? I'm just open to feedback, and I can riff on pretty much so many things. You know, I'm passionate about mental health, motherhood, leadership, and energetics. Those are the constants. But I really want this to feel like a discussion, not just me talking to you, but me talking with you and you talking with me. And like I'm giving the people what they need, as well as leveraging this beautiful platform as a creative expression of who I really am, in hopes that it helps one person at a time. Um and as always, if you follow the show and if you like, subscribe, and give me a rate the show and give me a review, that is the way that you can support the show. It basically, Apple, the more reviews you have, the more they're going to push it out to new audiences. And so if you're wondering how you can support the show, if you've gotten anything out of the show, sharing it with your sisters, your friends, your mothers, posting it on social media, following, rating, and reviewing, those are all ways that you can support. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of those reviews. I read all of them. We're almost to 100 reviews, you guys, which is effing epic. But I have a feeling if we get to 100, they will push this work out in front of more mamas and we can help more moms. So if you haven't already, I'll just ask that you do that. Okay. Okay, let's get into what I want to talk to you about today, which is why I don't do New Year's resolutions. I haven't done New Year's resolutions in a long time. I grew up doing New Year's resolutions. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I do feel the energy of the new year, even though many will tell you that the new year doesn't start until March in spring. I almost feel a second new year then, but I do feel the energy of a new year. And I do love to take a moment to look back on the year that we just got through and look at all of the beautiful things that happened and capture them and really let them sink in. And then I also like to look at the lessons and I like to carry that into my next year. And as I'm, imagining and visualizing what it is that I want for the next year, I bring that information with me. And what I've learned about any sort of evolution, development, growth, or change, this is important, is we have to start from a place of enoughness. If we are trying to set resolutions, set goals, make changes, make more money, lose more weight, do more of this, from a place of, I need to do that so I'm more lovable. I need to do that so I have self-worth. I need to do that so I can feel safe, secure, and enough. We're off energetically at the get. Okay, this is why something like 93% of New Year's resolutions are done by the 4th of January, because we're starting from a place of lack and scarcity. This is a writer downer. You will hear me sing this till the cows come home. You cannot shame yourself skinny or successful. We have to drive change from a place of enoughness, from a place of deservingness, from a place of self-worth. And when we do it that way, it's so much easier to actually show up for the goals that we have. And here's why. So there's an energetic reason and there's a neuroscience reason, okay? Like energy attracts like energy. So if you're trying to create resolutions, intentions, and goals from a place of lack and scarcity, you are not going to manifest and call in high vibe shit from a place of not enoughness. Okay, this is the law of resonance. The more loving I am, the more I'm going to invite love in. The more confident I am, the more opportunities to be confident are going to arise. But we can't be shaming the shit out of ourselves and manifest the love, the success, the opportunities, the abundance, the joy, the wealth, the aliveness that we want. We can't do that. Okay? And from a neuroscience standpoint, when you're shaming yourself, when you're engaging in negative self-talk, I'm overweight, I'm not where I want to be, I don't make enough money, I'm not successful, good things don't happen, I'm all that stuff, those thoughts are going to release cortisol and adrenaline, which feel like what? Yuck, frozen, stuck, anxious, sad, overwhelmed, depressed. How are you supposed to show up and take action that's in alignment with what you want from that place? I don't know about you, but when I'm spinning in anxiety, I ain't getting a lot done. I don't know about you, but when I'm like stuck in depression, I ain't doing the things that are in my highest and best. So we want to talk to ourselves kindly, so that we can release serotonin and dopamine, because from that place, it's easier to get up and go get your water. It's easier to take time to go for a mental health walk. It's easier to do your meditation, your breath work, your night out with the girls, reading the book, doing the things. Okay? When we shame ourselves, we biochemically stunt us from taking action. And then because we don't take the action, what do? We perpetuate the self narrative that we're a POS. This doesn't work. Okay? You know this when it comes to your kid. We don't shame our kids to get their performance up at school or in their sports. We positively reinforce, we coach, we teach, we mentor, we support, we cheerlead, we guide. Baby, you deserve the same. So I don't do resolutions because by nature, resolutions are I suck, so I need to do something different. And that's not going to work. What I do instead is I set a really powerful vision for where I'm going, what I desire, who I want to be, and how I want to feel. I access that truth, what I want, somatically, not just from my thinking brain. You know, your actual logical brain is only up to 5% of your operating system. The truth of who you really are, what you really want, what you're ready for, that lives in your subconscious. So let me remind you what your subconscious is. Your subconscious is your limbic system, so the emotional part of your brain, your lizard brain, which is responsible for, swallowing, breathing, your heartbeat, all of those autonomic nervous system functions, your body, your emotional body, and your energetic body and auric field. All of that is 95% of your operating system. And all of that is connected to something bigger than you. It's connected to the other energies in the electromagnetic field, aka the universe. It's connected to the earth. It's connected to spirit. It's connected to the bigger thing that you believe in. But instead of accessing all of that, the wisdom that our body holds, what do? Let me write out my resolutions using my thinking brain. So I love to do exercises like dance and breath work and movement and meditation to access different states of consciousness so that the truth can bubble up. And from there, I set my vision. Ooh, this is the Brooke Jean that I want to see in 2026. She feels alive. She feels excited. She feels deeply connected. She feels like proud. She's with her kids and her husband. She's doing work in the world that matters. Abundance comes because she gives generously, right? She's invited to tables and conversations that inspire her, because the more that she's inspired, the more she can give back to her community. And I get clarity on how I want to feel, not what I want to have. How do you want to feel? Set that vision. And then I reverse engineer. What are the action steps that I'm going to need to take that get me to these milestones that I'll know I'm headed to the vision. I'm embodying the vision. I'm making my way there. And whatever that vision is, whether it's your word of the year, mine is excited. Okay. It started out with blessing, and that wasn't quite right. Then it went to joy, and that wasn't quite right. And it really came through in these last couple days in my breathwork practice of like, it's excited. When I feel excited, and I'm a generator by human design, so this makes sense. When I feel excited, everything in my life flows easier and better. When I'm excited, I'm paying attention. I'm present. I'm showing up for my life. I'm taking care of myself. I'm being of service. I'm teaching my children. I'm loving my people. When I'm excited, it's fuel for me. And so that's going to be my vision when I'm excited. So that's my North Star. So I'm going to write the word excited on a sticky note where I can see it every day. And am I showing up with that as my North Star and doing things, saying yes to things and no to things, and taking care of myself so that I can be in the energy of excited? And when I get kicked out, because girl, I'm human, I'm easily triggered. We all get kicked out. How fast am I in recognizing and getting back in? So this is what I'm about. The resolutions are rigid. I don't do rigidity. I need structure. I definitely realize that. I need structure, but I don't like rules. You know, I was laughing this morning because I was thinking about diet culture, and I had a bagel with cream cheese and an egg and some blackberries for breakfast. And when I tell you, bitch, I decided I wanted a second bagel. Bitch, I wanted a second bagel. So I had one, and I laughed because I'm like, God, back in the day when I had such rigid resolutions and I would try like, I'm going to diet and I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. And I would commit to this just like ungodly amount of things. And it's no wonder I didn't get any of them done past day 4. When we set rigid rules, we actually put ourselves and our nervous system into a shutdown, into a freeze. Now, I do still need structure. I can't just do what I want, eat what I want, whenever I want, not take care of myself. But I am finding a way where I can have enough structure, but enough autonomy, creativity to actually build a healthy life. But none of it is perfect. Okay. So, I don't do resolutions. Maybe you do. If they're working for you, babe, get down with your bad self. But if they're not working for you, invitation to join me with setting a powerful vision somatically, and then reverse engineering what you need to do to be in alignment with how you want to feel. You know, people want to manifest and call things into their lives. Well, and they come to me all the time like, Brooke, what do I need to do to have this? What do I need to do to make more money? What do I need to do to fix my relationship? What do I need to do to have more opportunities and get more visible? And I always say, babe, that's not the correct question. It's not what do I need to do. If it was about doing, we would all be the richest bitches alive, because me and my people, we do things. Am I right? We do the things. It's about who am I being? So if I want to be happy in my marriage and connected to my children and thriving in business and getting these opportunities, who is that queen? What are her beliefs about herself? What is her inner narrative? What are her habits? How does she show up? How does she handle things when they're not going her way? I've been going through a crunch, y'all, in this like last month. And I know it's preparing me for something. Because who we are when things are not going well, that's your real energetic frequency. And that energetic frequency determines and creates your reality, right? So I look at who do I need to be? I need to be kind to myself. I need to show up for myself. I need to take care of myself. I need to be self-led. I need to be open to receive. I need to be of service. I need to be connected. And so those things then shape, well, how do I do that in my day-to-day life? What's my morning routine? What's my workout routine? What's my family time routine? What's my development routine? And this is how I craft my days, my weeks, my months. And when you have that intention really set and written down, it's amazing how much you can how do I say this? I guess this is how I want to say it. When I set a powerful intention of this is how I want to feel, and I put it somewhere that I can be reminded, and I show up for that intention in some way every single day, I have never not gotten results. And it's cool to look back and be like, oh my God, my word was aliveness. And look at all of these ways that I put myself in the frequency of aliveness, and therefore all of these opportunities that presented because of that. It's when we set an intention and we walk away and we don't do the work, and then we're like, well, nothing's changing. Well, yeah, babe, because who you're being isn't changing. And what's cool about this energy and neuroscience work is you don't need to be happy all the time. This isn't some fake toxic positivity bullshit. I still deal with depression. I still deal with hormones. I still deal with self-doubt. I still deal with self-sabotage. I'm as human as humans can get. But I recognize when it's happening and I get back in as quick as I can. And instead of shaming myself, I meet myself with grace and compassion and say, girl, you've gotten lost. Let's get back in. Girl, you off, honey. Let's get back in. It's the noticing that you're off and the commitment to getting back in. That's some high energy shit. Not being happy all the time. The truth is the highest frequency that you can have. So this is what I want for you. I want you to embrace your messy. I want you to shed the shoulds. I want you to remember who the heck you are underneath who the world told you to be. And I want you to start showing up boldly and unapologetically. I want you to do the inner work so that you can really believe that you deserve amazing things in your life. I want you to be in your integrity and do what you say you're going to do, but without perfectionism, without rigidity, without the pressure that's making you sick. I want you to enjoy your life. What are we really doing here? I want you to be playful about things, including your mental health struggles, including your struggles, including your setbacks, right? But I want you to show up for you, because you know what? We only live one wild and precious life, at least in this lifetime on earth, and you deserve that. So may we live unperfected, and may unperfected continue to be a place where we can share stories of our struggles while still wanting big shit in our lives. May unperfected represent the truth of who you are and still make you worthy of all that your heart desires. May unperfected be a place where we can take off our masks and remember who we were when we were little girls and let that inform how we show up today. I want more messy. I want more intentional. I want more dance. I want more intimacy. I want more pleasure. I want more play. And I want to feel excited. That's going to be my North Star. So I just wanted to regroup with you, my love, about the Unperfected brand, the vision, the mission, the podcast, why I'm here, what I'm about. I do stand for greatness while little bits of me are still falling apart. That can exist. That's called duality. You can hold grief in one hand and joy in the other. You can hold pain in one hand and pleasure. But the more that we're down with all of it, the more beautiful of a life we're going to be available for. So, my love, let's set your intentions for 2026. If you're in Colorado, I would love to have you at my event this Sunday, January 11th. 4 to 6, called Unleashed. It's going to be at the Confluence co-working space in Lafayette, Colorado. It's $33 to come. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can email me at brooke@liveunperfected.com. You can, how else can you connect with me? But connect with me and let me know that you want me to reserve a spot. There are only a few spots left. But I would love to have you, because at that event, we're going to drop out of our heads. We're going to drop into our bodies. We're going to move and shake what we're ready to leave behind so we can open up and receive clarity of what we're calling in for 2026. And from that place of aliveness, fun, playfulness, authenticity, then we're going to postulate. We're going to plant the seeds in the universe, AKA the field, of what we want. We cannot manifest from a place of lack. We cannot shame ourselves skinny, not energetically, not from a mental health and neuroscience standpoint. Everything that I teach has to start from a place of enoughness. You're enough. It's enough. And we can still want more. Permission to fully embrace that this year. And again, I would love your feedback for this podcast. I want this to turn into a full-blown, unperfected conversation, and I want to support you in the ways that are going to help you live your most true and abundant life. All right, my loves, take care of yourselves and therefore each other, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now. Hey babe, if you made it this far, I know you're serious about taking action and creating a life you actually love. Just by showing up, you're telling yourself and the universe, I matter. I'm ready. Let's go. So don't be surprised if things start shifting in your favor. If this episode moved you, do me a favor. Follow, rate, and review the show on Apple or Spotify, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Brooke Jean Unperfected. It helps us reach more women, more mamas who are ready to do this work. And if something really landed, DM me on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected, or share a clip and tag me. I want to see what's moving through you and continue to support your journey. And hey, make sure you download my free guide, Get Unstuck. 5 therapeutic steps to take aligned action. All the links are in the show notes, and let's get you moving.